Well, good afternoon, friends. Today is a special day because literally we were just live streaming about an hour and a half ago watching Jerry Wayne Jones literally bawl his eyes out and say, I effed up. I screwed the Dallas Cowboys. I brought the bad juju by firing Jimmy Johnson. And even Barry Switzer even told Jerry Jones, you're an idiot. You're stupid. What are you doing? But I'll take the job. And with that being said, I'm going to turn the music off right now because I actually am doing this stream not just by myself. I actually have my man D2 Stu in the house. What's up, D2 Stu?
How you doing, Mark? Doing good, sir. Ready to go? I don't know how I'm doing, man. Jerry Jones flipped me. I mean, threw me for a loop, man. I'm still like my head is spinning. Although that might be stealing Jobu's rum because they say it's very, very bad to steal Jobu's rum. But see, because you guys acted now, and it's the beginning of training camp, and Jerry Jones says I fucked up firing Jimmy Johnson, we gonna double up. We brought some fresh meat into the house with my man Corey. What's up, Corey?
Howdy.
Wait, where's the clown mask? You forgot the clown mask, man.
Intro.
Now you guys might let me change up cameras here because you guys might not see Corey. He's in the corner over here with the clown. Okay, he's a clown because they got a clown for a quarterback right now. What's up, Letitia and Sweet Jones? How you doing? Welcome to our broadcast. We're going to talk a little bit about the goings on with the Dallas Cowboys. And Corey, for those of you who are new here, Corey is another one of our resident fantasy football experts. He happens to be a Miami Dolphin / Green Gray Packer. No, okay. Compared to me, you're a fucking genius. Okay, let's be clear. Okay. You're an expert.
Well, I am technically a genius, but thank you.
I don't know. You're still supporting the Green Bay Packers and that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. So, gentlemen, how are you all doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about the season getting here. HBO Hard Knocks. We get a little bit extra taste this year to go along with everything else.
Okay. Well, before we get into fantasy football, and what you guys are actually seeing is my man Stewart, we've been trying to do all this stuff behind here, and I'm technology challenged, trying to figure out how to use Zoom and share a screen, and he now actually has control of the mothership. Yes, he has control of the mothership. I'm a control freak, and nobody else has had their hands on the Alienware. So we're going to be doing a mock draft, but before we get into that, since we do have a resident Packer fan here, I want to get your take on Aaron frickin' Rodgers.
All right, y'all gonna keep hitting me with the Aaron Rodgers. So first things first.
Okay.
He went ahead on Twitter and called out what a wonderful job the Milwaukee Bucks did on their front office and building a team. Not really saying that he didn't agree with the way Packers did it, but a couple people calling him out petty because that's really what it comes down to.
Well, look, at this I've always thought of him as a whiny little bitch.
It's diva. I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll scream it to the rooftops. I love him for the 16 years he gave us. But if you're going to put yourself above the organization, I don't care who you think you are, you're wrong. Ooh. Because they weren't winning the way they've been winning before this new regime took over. We had some down years for a while with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, but now you're going to tell us that this new regime is messing it all up. Take your deep elsewhere.
But see, here's the conundrum that I see on here is if they were to go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to fire the GM, we're going to appease you, then you might as well just say you are now the quarterback and GM of the team because literally you've now bent over backwards and given him all control. You can't do that.
And the coach.
You can't. You literally can't. You're just saying that you run the organization. And for them to go through and say, you know what, look, we're going to make you the highest paid and him to have his little bitch fit, and just get out. I think that at this point you just say, fuck it. Let me trade him and get as much as I can for him and move on.
Look, all I'm going to say is this about that. everybody wants to try and bring this whole Tom Brady doing the NBA thing about building a team around him, bringing in Gronk, bringing in Antonio Brown. But let's be realistic for a minute. Jameis Winston was throwing 30 touchdowns, balling out with those same players this whole time. Bruce Arians came in, and they were doing all right. Okay?
Quite frankly, if Jameis Winston didn't do the interceptions, they would have been fine.
Brady got there.
The offense would have been fine if Jameis Winston just didn't do the 30, interceptions. That's what killed him. Takeaways are gold.
He got LASIK, and now his vision is 30-30.
Shout out to Eddie. We're going to put you in the drawing.
I've always liked Winston's talent. If the LASIK helps enough that he's not throwing 30 interceptions and he actually gets the starting job in New Orleans, that could be fun to watch.
Let me ask y'all a question. Here's what I want you to think about from now on every time you hear about Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Denver.
If Terrell Owens was a quarterback, you think he would have got away with all the shenanigans? Like, people didn't like him the way he was, and then you're going to turn around and we got a quarterback doing that in a part of that, or I share part of that team, right? We are the people.
Well,
you're not dealing with Jerry Jones, firing Jimmy Johnson or something here.
Oh boy, here we go. No, he admitted he fucked up on that today, though.
Well, Jerry, yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you need the quarterback to be the leader that brings everybody together. And see, to me, this sounds more petty than anything else. Okay, you proved your point that you are God. You're the better quarterback. That they made a mistake, but it's like you're still, twisting the knife in the back. And at some point, your teammates are going to look at it and say, you know what, we got to play football. Are you with us or not? Put that shit down, because right now we got to play football, and either you're going to be with us and be together, and it's us against the man, or fuck you.
Who do you want to go to battle with, Dak Prescott or Aaron Rodgers?
I'd rather have Dak Prescott, because
run through a brick wall for a guy like Dak,
and that's where the guys fall behind him and stuff. Dak Prescott, and I was actually amazed that basically Stephen Jones admitted that Dak Prescott's value goes beyond just the talent on the field, which is great, but it's actually the intangibles of being leader and everybody literally following behind him. I'm not saying that the players won't follow behind Aaron Rodgers, but at some point, you start looking and saying, we're in the trenches here working. You haven't been here all off season, and you're having this bitch fit, and you were offered all this money, and it's kind of like at some point you're going to end up turning that dynamic with not just the ownership I forgot the ownership is everybody, but the front office, but then the fans as well as the players against you, where you become the outcast anyway. But again, maybe that's what he wants. He just wants a new beginning.
Well, he's, again, because the discussion has been going on since Tom Brady left and started bringing his buddies into Tampa. There is no comparison about building a football team and putting 5 guys on a basketball court.
Yeah.
There's no comparison as far as the Rob Gronkowski and the Antonio Brown, because what else did Tom Brady do?
Tom Brady
came into a good team, and they won the Super Bowl. Congratulations!
But it wasn't just him coming in there.
People building it.
Yeah,
that defense was just as vital as anything for Tampa.
So I love this. I actually love Rodgers for doing this, because it spotlights that you're not above it. You're not better than the rest of the 53-man roster. Yes. Look, Joe Flacco won with the Ravens, and he wasn't the best quarterback in the league.
Okay, so for everybody tuning in, let me reintroduce. That's not Fish. It's not Fish. That's my man Corey, who is a Miami Dolphin as well as Green Bay Packer fan. Also D2 Stu, who's also got control of the mothership here, because we're going to actually do a fantasy football draft, as well as just kind of catch up with the news and stuff, because
I can't see the chat.
You can't see the chat?
Yeah. No, that's my own fault. That's something I'm doing wrong.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I would love to answer people, but
everybody's like, what's going on? Okay.
We're lucky that we're at this point that we can do this right now. So
right. Yeah,
let's move on from Aaron Rodgers, because the rest of the world has too.
Ooh, you sound
okay.
I
can
bitter.
Taste the salt in that one, but real quick, devil's advocate. If you're Aaron Rodgers,
and they trade up to get Jordan Love when you want a wide receiver to go with Devontae Adams or somebody else. How do you?
Then don't be training MVS and Equinemius St. Brown for 3 years. Get your replacements before that 1 year happens. And one other thing, let's go real football and fantasy at the same time. This is a regression year. He just had a record year as far as what he did on the field.
True.
Great job.
And he's getting older.
Guess what? You ain't going to do it again. So don't try to pretend like the team can't do what you're about to do this year when you regress.
All right. So with that, let me give a shout out to Eddie. Eddie, what's up?
Sorry.
High five, Freddie. What's in? Gene Jones, Cowboys up north. All of you, thank you for coming in. If you have questions on fantasy football, be sure to go ahead and put them in the chat there, so that way we can try and get my men to answer it. So I am actually here, and I'm going to let D2 Stu take over because he's past the Dutchie from the left-hand side. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. But I'm passing the mic to the Stu Steid.
I appreciate this. Hey, before we get going on this mock draft, you do a real good job of asking us how we're doing. How are you doing? You've had the Hall of Fame Zoom calls.
Wait. How is press credential official Hall of Fame attendee Mark Holmes doing today?
You know what? I'm worn the fuck out. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I'm trying. The Cowboys opening up training camp, but no, you know what? This is a labor of love for me. So I'm literally not getting sleep at night, and that's okay because this is like my Eminem moment. Lose yourself. You got one shot, one opportunity, and I feel like this is like a conversion of so much with Jerry Jones literally saying that he fucked up. Oh, no problem. That he fucked up and everything else, firing Jimmy. You got Jimmy Johnson going to the Hall of Fame and things like that, who's been asked about going to the Ring of Honor, and him replying that, when Jerry has a few drinks and stuff and decides that it's going to happen. So you've got this whole this hurricane that's two hurricanes that are going to combine here at the Hall of Fame. And I've talked to Jimmy, and of course in the past I've talked to Jerry, and I'm gonna be looking for both of them. So for me, I'm excited, and I want to make sure I've got double camera set up on my tripod, so I've got backup, okay, just in case. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the team getting going. I've got this red brick house that it sounds like we're going to get the go ahead to start working on that, and all I got to do is stay alive and keep working. So I'm good.
That's great news on the red brick house too. I'm glad that's finally.
Yeah, and right now, I guess I'm gonna get a fantasy football draft and team in front of me.
Yeah, I'm just popping on the live stream real quick so I can put the Discord link in here on my phone.
And I see Eddie B is going to be there too. We've got a cabin, we've got an RV, we've got 8 of us that are all going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I got my man David Wiley, who's a chef. I mean, he's a serious chef. Okay, I'm talking about he's cooked for some major people and stuff. He's going to be going there. My man Richard is going, who's a Steeler fan. There's 7 Steelers that are being inducted along with the 3 Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to be trying to bring as much content as I can for all of you guys.
All right.
Just keep in mind at the back end real quick, Stu, before you get started. 6 of my 13 years in the Army was as a mechanic. So just in case you need somebody to come and change tires.
Well, where are you located? Because maybe we can stop by and pick you up.
I'm just north of Philly a bit.
Okay. I've got actually my man Hawk is coming down from Philly with his son to meet us here to ride on up. And we have a cabin that sleeps 6, and we've got a RV that sleeps 6. And right now we have 8.
Hey, 13 years in the Army, I sleep in the dirt.
Well, the cabin's got two bunk beds and a queen bed. So,
I just got to figure out how to get Stu up here, and then we'll work it out.
Okay,
that's
all right.
Test. One of these days, maybe.
Dan the Man Cunningham, we are about to do a fantasy football draft. My man D2 Stu has control of the system here, and I'm going to be educated.
We're just going to have a little bit of fun. I posted the link to Discord in there. about a minute or two ago.
If you're anybody who's interested in joining the Jobu Sports League, check out the Discord channel. And if you want to have a fantasy football team and all that, then go there, and we're going to have Jobu Sports and so on.
He's got a lot of videos rolling through there. We're always available to chat, football questions. I mean, it's a giant chat room, and there's multiple channels, so you can chat different things depending on what he's got set up. So any of your people want in, you can join for free. There's special sections just for your people, but anybody can come in and hang out with us.
Sounds like a winner. Michael Baines, Mark, you have this, but you have a lot of fans in Wilson, North Carolina. Michael, were you part of the group that came up 2 years ago to the tailgate? Is that what we're talking about from Wilson? All right. So how are we doing with this, Stu?
I'm ready. I was ready to go. I've been passing that Dutchie to the left-hand side. Y'all took my conversation.
Here.
But yeah,
Stu,
Discord.
Stu,
you need to be clicking PPR.
I'm passing the keys to you.
Yeah, it's right there. We're good. But yeah, like y'all said in Discord, it's not just for the Jobu leagues. That's the important thing. This first league that we'll be doing, some of your members, some of the channel members, not subscribers, but members, are going to get a chance to play with you, Philly 500, and a handful of other guys that we'll figure out by Saturday. We'll be back on Saturday.
Okay.
We'll have the official draft dates and everything set. We'll know how many channel members we need to fill the league that has Philly 500, and that one with you.
Okay.
And we'll be touching on that. I might even have some other guests come on and just talk about it.
And keep in mind, we're going to be doing Jobu merch, or maybe even some players like autographed merchandise for prizes and things, right? We're not giving away. It's not money leagues, right?
No, it's not money leagues. Right? That's not what this is all about. Me and Corey are in a bunch of money leagues, but that's not what the Jobu Sports League is all about. This is about
learning the game, having fun,
right?
And if you ruin your team, it doesn't matter because you figure out how to do it in the future, type of thing.
Well, actually, hold the show for a second, because you know what we're gonna do. What we'll do is we'll do something like, maybe a Dallas Cowboy. Oh no, but see, Corey, you're in this, so you wouldn't want a Cowboy shit. But we'll do something like
fantasy. It's all look. I've had to draft Brady, even though I didn't like it.
Okay, so we'll do something like a Joe Barty or autographed merchandise. But I actually, for the team that does the worst, I actually have something even for them. So everybody gets a trophy. Hang on, hold on.
Yeah. But while we're waiting on Mark, anybody that's out there listening, if you don't play fantasy football, that's fine. You can come play. We'll be here to help you out with those questions in Discord. Me, Corey, one of my friends, Alex Marino, a.k.a. the Fantasy Football Hustler. We'll have people in there known as the Jobu's Fantasy Gurus that can help you answer your questions. And it doesn't have to be just Jobu leagues. It can be any leagues that you play in: money leagues, free leagues, family leagues, work leagues, dynasty.
I believe he's got a toilet bowl trophy.
So the person that does the worst, you're not going to be left out. You will win the toilet bowl award.
And an autographed Mark Holmes toilet bowl award.
And real quick, I just want to throw out, make sure you click the like, hit the subscribe if you want, but welcome, Alan. We got somebody from England watching you right
Shout
now.
out. We got lots of, England. There's actually a couple of Cowboy fan clubs that are in England. They're getting really strong. In fact, I had something crazy happen to me yesterday, okay? It used to be Home Depot had an agreement with the NFL, and they had all the NFL colors. So when people order racks and they say I'm a Tampa Bay or a Jet, I could go through and I could get the colors matched exactly. But Home Depot has stopped. And so they said, Home Depot is like, well, Lowe's has got that thing with Valspar, and you've seen the Lowe's partnership. And I go to Lowe's because I needed Tampa Bay's creamsicle orange. And the guy's going, the system. It's not in the system. It's not in the system. And I looked it up, and it says NFL 3-year partnership with Valspar and all that, UK. I was like, what? How are you going to sell team colors for the UK but not the United States? So I had to kind of color match the creamsicle color and stuff on it. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. I guess it really wasn't. I'm just going to shut up now.
let's get back on track with the joke. For a quick background on why we even have fantasy football on the Jobu Sports Report. Last year when Mark was in Bosch's league, I was kind of tugging on his coattails to let me help him with his draft, but it was too little too late. But I did wind up taking care of his wife Tracy's team for her United Way League, and we won that last year, even after losing Dak Prescott. I got to know Tracy. I got to know Mark a little bit better. Mark asked me to come on the show this season and talk a little bit of fantasy football, more so on the fantasy football for dummies side, because he's not a fantasy football guy. So that's kind of the approach we're taking here. Mark, I think you took my control away.
I did, because I had somebody was asking what's the link, so I actually pinned you. Okay, I pinned you at the top. So anybody who's looking for the Discord channel, the top comment, D2 Stu actually has the link on it for the fantasy football. You can click on that and get the link. All right. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the control back from you.
You're all right, but Hannah been.
And we do have one question. So Stu, somebody just asked how you sign up for fantasy. So I don't know if you want to just let people know they just jump in the Discord and we'll start working it from there.
That'll be the
way you want them to contact you.
That I would imagine Mark gets so many emails that would be crazy. For right now, we're going to get in the Discord group and we'll figure out if we have to maybe make an email account just for the fantasy football. But Discord would be the easiest way, and it'll be ESPN. All we'll need at that point, once we figure out that you want to play and do private message, give me your email. We'll send me or Raj your email, and we'll send the link over to you and the invite. And we'll get all that lined up. We'll have all the
Tony Wright. For all of you who play fantasy football, if you want to win, don't take the Cowboys defense. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Tony, the funny thing
Captain Obvious.
We have all these trolls that clown on the Cowboys, but they just scared. How many drafts have I been in as the Cowboys fan of the group, playing with people from around the country, around the world, talking shit about our Cowboys? But when it comes to draft time, they're trying to take my Cowboys, Mark. Why are they talking shit?
They always, your quarterback's guard. But I want Dak. I tell you what's funny. Now, Michael Barnes asked. He said, if I were offered a job at the Star, would I take it? It'd be hard for me to leave, where I live, because I'm close to my parents. They're older, and my roots and everything else and all that. It would have to be an offer that I couldn't refuse, so to speak. So that's where I go with it from that point right there on that question. If you want to join the league, on the next question there, just click on the link for the Discord and join the Discord, and then they can just put a message in on that, right? To say, hey.
We'll be monitoring that as well. I just dropped my email.
There you go.
For fantasy football.
Okay.
It's just a fantasy football email address, so they can shoot an email there if they'd prefer, and I'll put their name on a list.
Gotcha.
Stu is managing the list, so I'm just keeping an eye out for names.
There you go. That's Brother Roz right there. So go ahead and hit him up on that. But see, the funny thing you were talking about, Stu, with the Cowboys and taking their players and all that. I remember being at the draft in Philadelphia and wearing my Cowboys gear and literally getting cussed out and stuff like that. But it was funny. They would cuss you out and say, nothing personal. We have to do this because this is all we got. We don't have any Super Bowls. We're just known as assholes. But, don't take it personal. The funny thing was with Roger Goodell, every time Roger got up, boo, Roger, piece of shit stuff. And so then Roger, later in the draft, the second night, is walking through the crowd. All these people that were booing him and cussing him out, they're jumping in. Can I take a pitch? And I was like, wait. Y'all a bunch of punk asses, okay? You're cutting the man down, saying he's crap, but yet you still want to hang with him. Yeah.
I just find it kind of laughable that people spend their time on your channel talking shit about the cat. If they suck and you don't like them, fine. But if you're that miserable, you got to come talk. People are stupid. Let's have some fun with this.
All right, let's get this thing rolling, man. Rolling, G.
What we're going to be doing with the Jobu leagues, it'll be 10 to 12 man teams. I'm assuming 12 because that's the way that I like to have them set up. And it's going to be a snake draft, PPR, which is point per reception. So every catch is an extra point. And it'll be there's a lot of different formats.
Well, hold. Time out. What is the difference between snake draft and linear draft?
Ross?
So a snake draft, if you have the first pick, you go 1 through 12. You have the first pick, you wait until it wraps all the way around. So the number 12 pick then gets the next round, the first pick, and it snakes backwards.
So it reverses.
Yes. So it's a reverse draft every round.
Oh.
Whereas a linear, if you have the first pick,
you get the first pack every round.
Every round.
Oh. Okay.
So
so did you virgins out there get that one like I just did?
Most of your main drafts are going to be snake. If you run a dynasty or any kind of multi-year league, those end up being linear drafts after the first year.
Okay.
And we're just going to leave it at that because there's other variations in the future we'll get to.
All right. Yeah. See, I don't know about you guys. I just learned something because I was like, okay, it's a snake draft. And I was just thinking, well, what's a snake draft? I don't know what that means. Does that mean I'm getting bit by a snake?
No. But this is anybody that hasn't played before. This is pretty basic and silly for guys, anybody that has. But we're starting this for people that it doesn't matter what level you're at. And it's going to be the ESPN standard settings for the most part. You're going to have 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then what's called a flex, where it can be a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end. And then team defense and a kicker. Okay. But we're not going to get that far in the draft. We're just going to do the first 5-6 rounds, kind of give you a taste for how that goes as we get closer to the season. Gotcha. When we start doing the Jobu League drafts, I'll get with you and we'll try to set it up where we can do Zoom calls for the members and Philly 500 or whoever's drafting on that draft day, where we can get on the Zoom calls and everybody can be drafting at home, but be on the Zoom call and kind of talk to each other while we got the draft going on. So there's just things.
One, Mark, I don't care what kind of league you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't draft your defense or your kicker, no matter who it is, until the last 2 to 3 rounds.
Okay. All right. So, but basically, the thing is, when I was doing the other one, and Roger Dodger, if you want to join, there is a D2 Stew is pinned at the top. Click on the link for Discord. Go in there and say, hey, I'm Roger Staubach, Roger the Dodger, and I want to play on the fantasy football team.
And you stole my mouse, Mark.
I stole your mouse? You got it back. Take it. It says it's waiting on you.
Stole my mouse, man. There we go.
I did it when I was pinning you, man. I'm sorry. Can't we share? Okay, so... that's what we have. So if you want to join, and I'm hoping people will join, we're going to be doing, or Stu's going to be doing a lot more for me. He's going to, Stu's making me look good. Making me look good. All right. So what are we doing here?
All right. Hold on a minute. So the computer started the draft.
Say
Did
what?
we decide how we're doing this here?
Yeah. Wait a minute. So we got Yes We Can for those Odell trolls. Tutu Train, Buy Nook or Cook, Field of Dreams, Don't Mind If I Do, and We're Your Team.
This is just computer picks for people like me and Roz, or people that have a little bit more experience in fantasy football, not doing a little show like this. There's better apps where you can go in and you can draft with actual people, and you'll get a little bit better idea. But how we did this, to keep it simple, I imported the ADP, which is average draft position, from basically any fantasy expert you can think of, and it's the computer making picks based on all of that.
Okay, so if we actually look at the picks right now, we've got Christian McCaffrey was number 1, coming off of an injury. Dalvin Cook was number 2. Then we got Barkley, who might not be able to play week 1. He's still in doubt. We got Derrick Henry, who's like a sledgehammer. We got Jonathan Taylor, and then we got Alvin Kamara. Everybody is a running back thus far.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Now, when you're looking at the screen here, you have your top suggestion in the top right-hand corner.
Okay.
48% of experts agree, according to.
Should be
and
Zeke.
again, we're using Fantasy
unfortunately, it's blocked by the guys right now. Well, I think I can.
Okay.
Let me.
Well,
see.
it's telling you Zeke. I don't know why it would tell you that guy, but.
Don't touch anything, Mark.
I was gonna take you guys off of the screen. I think I can go down to I can go to just Stu. There we go. See, right there. Suggestion
worked out
is
perfect, actually.
Okay, so Zeke is they don't need to see us. In fact, we could just put the
on the left side though, you can see all the players that are recommended.
So we've got Zeke, Tyreek Hill, Austin, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins. So we still have basically Zeke is actually the last. Well, no, Austin is. Basically, you got two more running backs, and then we're start going into wide receiver. It looks like. So
that's based on total points they score and the projections that the systems have generated. So when every time we're always talking ADP, and you'll hear everybody out in the fantasy community, the industry talking ADP. The average draft position is what we all collectively draft that gets compiled into these lists. Running backs are a more scarce commodity.
At least good ones.
They tend to be, your big dogs, your workhorse type guys that are on the field all the time. They tend to be drafted in fantasy almost exclusively in the first two rounds.
Okay, so let me ask a question here. So right now I'm looking at Zeke Elliott. I see in this box 94%, and then Tyreek Hill I see 99%. What is the percentage there for?
That's the percentage that they'll be taken at that pick.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so does it behoove you to take Tyreek Hill, who's more also, a more better all-around back and is younger, as opposed to
Tyreek
Zeke?
Hill's a wide receiver.
Yeah, but I'm looking. Okay, all right, okay.
It's a PPR draft, so wide receivers have the value out of the catches, and Tyreek Hill is one of the better wide receivers in the league, arguably top 3, if not the best. But for me, and I'm assuming Roz and a majority of people, like he was saying, running backs, the top tier running backs, the workhorses, the guys that are going to do you good. You get past the top 12, and it's not quite as pretty. Top 10, really. So in that first round in a one quarterback league, running back is your priority. Wide receiver position is so deep. I mean, just look at the list of guys that are already here. Hill, Adams.
What you want to think about when you're talking about that is, again, you want to build your team. So there's nothing wrong with taking Tyreek Hill.
That's true.
Okay.
But who do you want?
I prefer running back.
Dak Prescott.
And they're that high on the list, take them.
Dak Prescott.
But to Roz's point, and if we can get through this one, maybe we'll do another one real quick.
Prescott.
But you could go Tyreek Hill here, and then you only got 6 picks. You could get another decent running back. For me,
Dak
redraft. If this was Dynasty, I might go Tyreek Hill.
12 picks in between.
But it's not Dynasty. It's redraft. So I'm going right here with, I'm assuming, Mark, would you like Zeke?
Dak Prescott.
You want it?
All right, so
I must have Dak Prescott. So, but go ahead. If you're saying Zeke, go ahead. So, okay, we got Zeke. We can. All
right? Let's do it this way, because I know that Dak won't go in the first round with the simulation. Let's get through these 5 rounds or so, and then we'll do another one real quick where we take Dak in the first round, and you can see the difference in the roster makeup.
Okay. See, I like to, like Jerry Jones, I like to stir some shit up. I like to stir some shit up. Okay. Go ahead.
I'll tell you right now, Mark, that's what I do in drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I make picks that are off the charts because that makes other people off the charts.
Puts other people on tilt. They're going, well, wait a minute.
Hold on. It's like, right. You don't want to go to see, and that's when
you're like, why'd you do Tyreek Hill?
Then you got
because I can get Aaron Jones later.
There you go, and get them off of their game.
Because I can get Tony Pollard.
There you go. All right, but okay, so go ahead, Stu.
Let's go with Zeke.
Take Zeke.
Well, real quick before we hit Zeke, because it'll speed through to our next pick. Right,
Tony. I just want to say too, Tony's working that chat. Working that NFC East thing on the chat.
You know what? Hold it, Tony. Tony, this is for you, buddy, because I think you're a Giant fan.
I'm the fucking one who calls the shots, and you better pay me the respect that I gave your brother, or we're gonna have a problem, a bad one. Now get the fuck out of here.
Tony's a Giants fan.
He said it's not the Giants. I don't know who it is.
I think he's Redskins. But on the Giants, one of the things that you said last year, Miles Sanders, who I actually like the talent, but I don't want to touch him in fantasy. And I love the way he acted with you at the signing show. Still don't want to touch him in fantasy. We'll get on that in a minute.
Yeah.
But Barkley, see, I don't have to have Barkley on my team, especially if he's already gone before I pick. But let's say it was another draft and he was still on the board, and I had Zeke and Austin Eckler. I'm going with Zeke or Austin Eckler. Barkley might. You can't count on him not being healthy, but he's already sketchy to open the season.
Right, that's what I think.
Giants. So give me somebody comparable.
Which means he's not going to be practicing much, if at all, to get into the season. It'll take a few games for him to get up to speed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So give me Zeke.
So we're taking Zeke. Okay. Wow, that was fast. Okay, so
all right, a bunch of guys just went.
So
Awesome.
At my team, we are what pick? 13th.
So
they're saying that we should take Calvin Ridley, huh?
We can take whoever you want to take. Let's see who went. Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, Nick Chubb, Gibson, Hopkins, AJ.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Justin Jefferson because Philly 500 says he's ass. He's ass. Okay.
You know what? That is a fantastic pick.
I'm sorry. Who said that he's ass?
What?
You haven't seen that clip? Play that clip, Mark.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I've seen the clip. Okay.
Philly 500. It was pissed in the
What an idiot! What an idiot! Dallas has more than Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver! Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson, he's ass!
I'm ass.
He's stupid! I fired his ass! I fired his ass! I mean, how is that gonna be stupid?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him!
Oh. Okay. All right, so moving right along on that one. Okay.
So if anybody joins a Jobu League and Philly's in there, you know you can get Justin Jefferson.
No, actually, I think he would change up. But I let's take Justin Jefferson. I'm going to take him.
Yeah, we're going to take Justin. But real quick, so we can get through these 5 rounds. What roster construction? Roz touched on it. For me personally, and he's brother Roz in Discord. He's Corey on your screen. But Roz, for me personally, coming out of the first 4 to 5 rounds, I want at least 2 solid running backs and a solid wide receiver. That doesn't mean we have to go running back here. I love the Justin Jefferson pick. You take value in Justin Jefferson, Philly, he's not ass. And that's a great pick, Mark. But for the first 4 or 5 rounds, I want 2 to 3 running backs, 2 to 3 wide receivers, and I want my quarterback somewhere in a 1 quarterback league. I want my quarterback anywhere another fantasy expert says, well, we'll see where Pat Mahomes comes off the board. Anywhere somebody says Pat Mahomes, and no, I'm not saying Dak is Pat Mahomes, but for fantasy value purposes, Dak has the potential just as much as Pat does to hit that number 1. In fact, last year, he was number 1 in fantasy football points per game before he went.
All right. Okay, cool.
You do know that all your leagues and all the people joining your leagues are not going to all be able to take these Cowboys that you spend all your time wanting to draft, right? Like, there's other players they're going to end up with. I'm just throwing that out there, you know. And, Stu, you're not seeing the whole screen there on the right side. So there's more picks than just Chubb and Gibson.
Yeah, if you take
just scroll at the bottom. You just,
no, what I do?
Don't do that.
Okay, good. I was like, no. Okay.
A little drag bar at the bottom.
All right, so looks like wide receivers went off the boards.
Right, so you see the tight ends kind of mixed in there?
Yeah.
It's a onesie position. You only need to start 1.
No, don't go to channel analysis.
So you're either going to get one of the top guys or you're going to go down to the bottom.
What happened?
I don't subscribe to that theory, but that's the most common one.
All right, I'm getting worried because I want to still get Dak. When do quarterbacks usually go?
In a 1 quarterback league, quarterbacks should not actually go until the 7th or 8th round. But people are hyping them up. I actually just did a TikTok for y'all that talked about the hype, the false hype, how fake the hype is about quarterback scoring. So you see Patrick Mahomes already went in the 3rd.
Yeah.
That team is ass.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to play that clip, but
no.
All right.
Opportunity cost.
Mark's point, Mark has to have Dak on his team. And I just got done saying, anywhere an expert says you can take Pat Mahomes, I say I could take Dak Prescott. So we could take Dak here, and I would be great with that. If you scroll down just a little bit further, look who's right there.
Well, I see Amari at 32.
Understand, those guys will be gone in an auto draft like this.
Okay.
So when you're looking at that list on the left, you need to decide, do you want to see them go bye-bye? Or do you want one of them now?
Oh, okay.
Because some people, especially newer people, they're going to come in, they're going to go right off the ADP. So if you see them on that screen right there, you do the math, they're not going to be there when you get back. Typically, that's how a live draft goes, but you got personal fan biases and all the other factors built in too. It's your call. We could go CD here and hope that Dak makes it back to 4.6, or we can go Dak here and not worry about CD.
Actually, I should have taken CD instead of Justin Jefferson.
CD will not make it back. I can tell you that.
We'll take CD.
Yeah. So
if you want him, now's when you have to.
No more quarterbacks went. Okay. And so it's back up to us.
Yes,
sir. Yeah, Josh Allen went. And now you will get your rushing quarterbacks going up higher in the draft because, again, there's a fallacy within the community of it's called the Konami code, that it's a cheat code, that it gives you extra points. It's actually, again, my false hype that I talk about. It gives you a solid floor of points, which means you won't go low on your quarterback scoring.
Okay.
But the heights actually balance out across your top quarterbacks.
Okay. The question is that will Dak be there in one more round?
No.
Okay, then I'm taking Dak now.
Right. But
in this particular draft, Dak is going to go bye-bye.
All right, so we'll take Dak now.
And the Jobu leagues, it's Cowboys fans mostly, so he's going to go.
He'll be gone.
Right.
He'll be gone the first round.
You said you should have gone CD instead of Justin Jefferson. No. Justin Jefferson is the guaranteed starter.
Okay, all right. Go get Dak. Just go get me Dak.
But CD has the potential to be that top 5, top 10 wide receiver this year as he transitions into our number one.
But see, here's the thing.
That's a stack that I have.
As a strategy, though, it's kind of like, it's one of those things. If you're betting in Vegas and, you're going with the favorite wins, you don't win a whole lot of money. But if you come up with those guys who aren't looked at as to be that guy and you get them dirt cheap and they succeed, then all of a sudden, bam, you're ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? So if let's say hypothetically, CD is not valued as well as Justin Jefferson, but he comes out and he plays and has a bomb out year. You know what I mean?
Right, but now you got CD at the best. If you had gone CD here,
okay,
2.6.
But in the end, does it matter what position you got him as long as you got him?
This is true as well, but see, that's fan bias, and it's your game.
And I'm looking at and for me, I'm looking at Kirk Cousins, who's under the pressure right now of maybe not being there the following year, so he may be pressing quite a bit and trying to do things and so on, and might end up being bad. I look at Dak Prescott being, okay, I got this, man. I got everything right here. I'm comfortable, and that maybe CD has the better year. But that's just my thinking.
No, and I agree with that thinking. But for purposes of teaching somebody that hasn't played fantasy before, taking you out of context, I know. But you want value. You want to make sure to give yourself the best chance to win. It's okay to reach, but you want to take. You don't want to reach and cost yourself talent.
Let me ask you a question. When you look at this board, how much blue do you see?
Blue? About half of it.
Right. You have one. So now all of the quarterbacks in the league, understand there's only 12 teams in this league. You only have to start one. If you take Dak, the opportunity cost of taking Dak over getting another running back.
Yeah, but it's these running backs, which there's some.
See, just Stu, that's the problem is when you look at the running back list, everybody's like, oh, well, this is the dead zone.
Yeah, I mean,
except
there's money out here.
Dead zone because I'll tell you right now, I'm starting Etienne, I'm starting Williams, and Mostert still has the job. Okay, Damian Harris still has the job. So people call it the dead zone, but it's really the value zone when you question.
Okay, but what you're telling me is don't draft Dak, but he probably won't be there the next round.
No,
he will not be there, guaranteed.
Okay, so if you're telling me that, I don't care what else you say. I'm taking that.
To counter what he's saying about only having one blue, we've got two high-end green. So you could either go two high-end blue, one high-end green wide receiver, or the way we did it. And it's a PPR league, so that's a good way. We'll go Dak here. And then we'll look at best value running back probably right here, and we'll stop it at 5 rounds. Then we'll do another one where we take Dak in the first round and show you how that balance of roster comes out, and we'll call it a day.
Okay.
And remember, the good news is all of your Discord members, they can pick other players.
True.
They'll have,
but they're going to be going. They're going to be like me, and they're going to say, "I want Cowboys."
It's gonna be a fight.
Well, there's only so many you can have, and then they run out.
Which is why I'm taking.
You got to have number 4 on.
Yeah, sure. 17%. That was a reach, but that's okay. The experts said the same thing.
But the funny thing is you can do all this stuff and say what the experts say. How often are the experts the teams that win?
Actually, that's a funny thing. Preseason ADP tends to be accurate to about 70 to 85% of the first 4 weeks of the season.
Okay.
So to start your year, understand you can't lose your season or win your season in the draft.
Okay.
You can make mistakes, but you can't win or lose the season right here.
Okay.
What you do is you set the foundation to build your house upon.
All right.
So now your foundation looks pretty daggone good. Let's be real. I would take it.
Well, we need.
I wouldn't draft it that way, but I like it.
Okay, don't I need a tight end?
Wait,
if you want one.
That's what I was going to get to. Maybe we'll do 6 rounds so we could, because you do need a tight end. Now
5 rounds is good. It's pretty good.
I would. Well, if we're going to wrap it at 5. For me, this is your draft, Mark. Yes, you do need a tight end, but running back's more important. There's tight ends here that I could talk myself into taking, like Hawkinson and Pitts. But, I mean, look, you got a guy like Goddard. I know he's an Eagle, but he should get his work. There's guys out here.
Tight end is where he and I would disagree. And it's just based on what I look at analytics versus
I would
some stuff that's
me personally. I would be thinking about Mark Andrews because of the offense where he may end up needing to get bailed out and being a security blanket with Lamar Jackson. They're not that deep team, and that tight end to me seems like it would be more important. When you think about Detroit with what's his name going there.
Jared Goff.
With Goff going there, I'm kind of like, I don't know. That's the way I would look at it if I was saying tight end. And as far as Dallas Goedert, I mean, Hurts sucks. Or he only has 5 games under his belt.
The tight end position in general, once you get past your Kelsey, your Waller, and Kittle, kind of tossing that coin up there. Hawkinson, I think I like a little bit this year. We're going to talk tight end. Roz, do you want to take Andrews? And maybe we feel differently on Andrews too.
No, this is his draft, and I like the way he's thinking with Andrews, but I want him to build his team because he's got a solid foundation, even though it's not what I would do. So, yeah, I mean, if you want Andrews,
what I'm saying is touch on what you think about Andrews' situation because he's spot on. Andrews has been a go-to valve for Jackson since he's been in the league. That's why he typically gets drafted.
If you could look at this, you would see Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray's names up here from a few years ago. You got to understand something. When I look at a team, I look at all the pieces. So Lamar Jackson, I took him prior to what he did when he broke out because they were building.
Right.
And what you're talking about with Andrews and the way he works into that offense, if anything, they're building to give him more space, to have that Bateman and Tylan Wallace out there to allow for spreading the field a little more and shifting a little bit away from the run enough to allow a passing game to exist. Understand, every year we go up and down and there's deeper passing numbers involved. But 2 years ago, because of the ebb and flow of passing, Lamar Jackson led the league in touchdowns.
Right.
So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
Mark Andrews was the recipient of the majority of those.
Right.
They got shut down quite a bit last year, and then they added some wide receivers. I wonder why. And maybe to open it back up.
I love the train of thought with tight end there and Andrews. Wasn't trying to stick too much time there. For me personally, with Andrews, I see Bateman coming in. I see Wallace coming in. Sammy Watkins is a non-factor, but he is a body that'll get a few targets. My thing with Andrews, he's always been so touchdown dependent with more pass catchers involved, plus being a run-dominant offense. I'd rather go with, personally, Hawkinson or take a flyer on Pitts. Okay. That's not to say Andrews is a bad pick. People love Andrews. That's just a me thing with Andrews. But for roster construction, too, we said running back. Look over here at running back. Roz, if you
are kind of getting in the you've got to know your guys to pick a running back right now. There is a dead zone as far as top end production. But if you know your team,
anybody that feel like, oh yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, guys,
if you know your players like I do, then I would be hammering backs, but it would be selective. I wouldn't just grab every starter that's on the depth chart type of thing right now. That's not what you want to be doing.
And see, Roz, tell me about your boy Gaskin, because Gaskin for me, that's another one of those things. I'm not a Gaskin guy. He just don't like it.
You always got to say my boy. Just because he's a Dolphin don't mean he's my boy. Because I'll tell you right now, he's filling a spot. And he's filling a spot that Malcolm Brown and Salvin Ahmed can both fill. And if Jared Dokes actually shows up and they give him a shot, he's a big boy that can move and catch. And that big boy could put a little end zone action in. We don't know what they're going to do. If Flores follows the Belichick tree, he could rotate all those running backs in. We don't know. Okay, we know Gaskin was able to do it last year, but he also had some problems pulling out the full year. Gaskin is one of those that I'm willing to miss. Some guys you just have to say, I'm willing to be wrong. And for me, Gaskin is one because I don't believe he is it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So, Mark, do you want to go ahead and go with Andrews? It's just a
I'm going to get a tight end. I've got a running back. I've got a good quarterback.
Yeah, take a tight end. There's no harm in that because they're good. Your top guys there are all good. And see, now we're seeing a lot of mix up, and we're getting a lot of rookies in this. You got a mixture of quarterbacks, tight end. You got wide receivers, running backs. So now it's really about the foundation is there.
Okay. Let me do one thing here, Stu. I know I'm fighting you right now.
Go ahead.
I'm fighting. We're fighting for the mouse. Okay.
It's all you, man.
Okay. All right. So my beautiful bride wanted to see you and say hello.
Uh-oh. Hey, Tracy.
Okay. Yeah. He heard you. He said, "Hey, Tracy, why are you messing up my fantasy draft?" Is what he said. And of course, we got Corey too in the house. Corey is our resident Green Bay Packer clown fan. He's like, fuck you.
So the people don't think you're the Unabomber. You're gonna have to explain to that clown right before we get off.
All right. Okay. So my wife was like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, "I'm playing with Stu." It's like, "Oh, okay, that's okay. That's cool." Okay. All right. So you're saying now that we're here that we should be looking at running back then, right?
Yep. That's what we're saying, especially for like I prefer having 2 running backs in the first 5 rounds, but you did really good by going with Andrews, even with me saying I didn't want him. Andrews is still a very good value at tight end. And if you come over here to the overall, it's now this is the computer, but typically in a live draft, computer, whatever you're doing, you're going to be looking at flows in the game. You're going to
I think I would take Kareem. I think I would take Kareem Hunt, even though they do running back a lot of running, but I think I would take Kareem Hunt.
What is going on here?
Kareem Hunt.
Mark, do you have my
not anymore. I
don't care about your pick insights.
It says you've got control.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, and I'm clicking on running back, and there we go. Now show me all, so I can my point. Okay.
Well, they got him third for best player still left. He's second as far as running backs and third as overall. So it sounds like I'm making the right call.
What it sounds to me right now, it really is starting to sound to me almost like Mark knows what he's doing and he's ready to compete.
It seems like he watched.
Because everything I'm doing, hey, no, that you don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, with Kareem Hunt, because this is just a mock draft, we don't want to dwell on it all day. But Kareem Hunt, he actually outperformed Chubb last year. Circumstances are a little bit in his favor to get some of that done when Chubb was injured. But Hunt,
you got to watch with the injuries, though. You don't want to count on.
No,
you don't want to count on Chubb missing as many games for Kareem Hunt.
No, but at this point, looking at the grouping here, Hunt wouldn't be a bad pick. I would personally, and I know Roz would go right here with Javonte Williams, the young running back out there in Denver that's going to knock old man Gordon off the block. But the point is you want 2 solid running backs, and it's going to get pretty murky if we don't go a running back here. So Hunt would be a solid pick here. We already touched on Gaskin. Stay away. Edmonds.
I don't want no Miami stank.
No. So for me, it would be Hunt or Williams. I would go Williams, but you wouldn't be wrong with Hunt. You wanted to go with Hunt, so boom, we're done. We're done with that. And let me figure out how to stop this one. We'll do one that we go through a little bit quicker, where we take Dak in the first round.
And Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
And Mark, real quick, you did notice that we're saying I wouldn't do that right there.
Yeah.
Throughout pretty much all your picks, but that's the beauty of it is you can make us rethink everything we're doing.
Right.
Because you're doing stuff like, no, don't do that. And now we've got to rethink it, which is good. I mean, hey, look, you got a strategy and you're sticking to it.
All right. So hypothetically, forgetting that I made all the wrong moves. What do you think about that team right there? Is that a decent team? Or is that ass?
Competitive? You are young enough for it to work in a dynasty league in ways. You're going to have to augment your running backs with a few extras just because of Kareem Hunt if he doesn't get the production normally. But you don't have to worry about quarterback. You don't have to worry about tight end. And you have a solid core of Zeke, CeeDee, and Justin Jefferson. So, hey, I'd give it. What is Hustler? Hustler like to do the grading. I'd go with like a B+, maybe an A-.
All right.
I mean, he's right on the edge of the clean A.
I see the trolls are having fun out there. I've
been trying to keep up with this, but there's no way I can watch this. This legend is
if any of you are interested in joining our fantasy football league, the pinned comment right there is to our Discord channel. And if you are, want to join, there is a free section. There's also, if you are a channel member section that has more content and stuff for it, as well as if you go in, ask questions, Corey and Stu will answer your questions on fantasy football. So definitely check it out. All right.
See, and again, it's a full chat room, so people are welcome to come in and ask each other questions. We'll jump in and help out, but it's open.
Yeah, the main public chat is for anybody that's a subscriber, fan of any team, whatever. But if you're a channel member and you send a private message to me or Roz with a screenshot of your membership, we'll put the Jobu crew role on you, and that way you can access the members only chat. We've got a voice chat that we should be able to get on game days. So you want to get on there with 1 or 20 or 30 people, talk on game day. And we've got specifically for fantasy football an area where we will address every question that comes through. We might miss some in the general chat, but we'll make sure that the members are taken care of. Okay. Not just for Jobu League, but for any fantasy league.
There you go. So all your information and everything. I'm trying to branch out and get out of my comfort zone here. Trying, because I get a lot of people that ask me and say, well, why don't you do fantasy football? And it's like, I'm not that good at it. What's up, Joseph? How are you doing? Welcome back, man. Legend Fire,
Joseph
fantasy football trainer.
Mark.
Yes.
I know we said we were only going to do 5 rounds, but y'all got to talking about grading. We got the concept here. Let's finish this one out and let the computer grade you, and then,
why don't you just hit auto draft? Or do you want to let him pick?
No, let me pick, and the other one's filling real good. So, I've got 2 running backs. Maybe I need to start looking at other quarterbacks right here, right? Quarterbacks.
There you go. There's your roster.
Yeah, I got my roster. Who do I have for quarterbacks?
You ready for the good news or the bad news?
What's that? They're all ass.
No, see, we got a flex here, so that can be a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end.
Okay, so let me see the best available.
And then
Jerry Jeudy is a really good. Let's see. I almost think I want Jerry Jeudy, but because I think that they're going to be behind a lot. They're going to be passing a lot. Chase Edmonds.
Hi, folks. I'm Mark Holmes. I don't play fantasy football. I can't stand fantasy football. By the way, I want Jerry Jeudy.
No, I'm just trying to think of who I think would actually, end up getting the ball a lot. If you think
Jerry Jeudy is one of my favorite wide receivers to take. That's why I'm so giddy over here. Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, here's my thought. Okay, and again, I think that Denver's going to be a bad team that's going to be paying from behind a lot. So if that's the case, they're going to be passing the football a lot. So I think of Jerry Jeudy probably getting a lot of catches. Is that a bad way to look at it?
Not at all.
I mean, that would be my thing. Okay, I'm going to take Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy already has multiple NFL defensive backs saying he's the best route runner in the league.
Okay.
Quarterback play is a question.
Take Jerry Jeudy, okay? Pick him. Yeah. We're going to get some rain, and I've got some very expensive plywood on the back of my truck if it hasn't been stolen already. Okay.
Jerry Jeudy is a great pick. Roz can touch on the quarterbacks. It doesn't really matter to me as long as Locke improves, or if it's Teddy. Jerry's going to be in his second year. He's going to be a little bit more settled in, and if the quarterback play improves at all, Jerry could have a really good year this year.
All right.
I think Joseph Heatherly just noticed that it was fantasy football on.
And he said he's out, right?
Jobu.
It is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do you actually clicked you were actually on what I was actually gonna say is I was actually gonna take Jalen Hurts.
All right, backup quarterback.
Well,
there you go.
But here's my thought on this is, again, they're going to be asked. They're going to be behind a lot. He's going to be running for his life and getting yards, hopefully that way, or maybe not hopefully that way, and throwing a lot because they're going to be behind. No? Stupid?
No, that's a good concept. And in a regular league, that's perfectly fine because you're not going to be penalized for – you're not going to be heavily penalized for fumbles and interceptions. So all you want is points, yards, touchdowns. I mean, if the Eagles figure out how to get in the end zone, that's just bonus to all the running for his life.
Okay. So now
that's not a bad idea. And the fact that your quarterback has a week off guaranteed in week 7.
And all that is correct. And it's funny we got to Jalen Hurts. We hate them damn Eagles, but it's not about the Eagles. Jalen Hurts himself, he's going to be running. He's an elite rusher at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the Eagles to win, but he's going to be throwing. He's going to be running. Jalen Hurts, the person, when you're playing fantasy and you have to get past that, but it's the Eagles. You look for anything to make it better. Jalen donated $30,000 to a family that had a 7-year-old boy with cancer so that they could pay their bills that they couldn't afford.
Right.
That's good enough for me to say that I like a guy like that. He's got the talent too. Forget the jersey, and I'll take him. That said, this is a 1-quarterback league.
Oh, is it?
And we've already got Dak Prescott.
Are you recording this? Because he just said, forget the jersey.
No,
I mean, I'm cool with that.
I'm
always.
Hey, he started it by going Hurts in the first place.
I thought that you had to have a backup quarterback. I thought
it was not a bad idea.
Backup quarterback's fine. That's
I thought
fine.
I thought you needed to have 2 quarterbacks. And what happens if Dak Prescott gets injured? Then what happens? You got no quarterback.
Dak Prescott takes a week off. You don't have a quarterback. That's a 0.
Okay, right. So, and I'm sitting here thinking about I don't want Kirk freaking Cousins. And my logic of Hurts is going to have to be the guy to do everything. He's going to be running for his life, picking up yards that way, and they're going to be behind, in which case he's going to be throwing and hopefully getting some,
you got a fantasy football trainer in your chat.
What's up, fantasy football trainer? And he's saying, damn, this guy's an idiot. Okay, can you just pick Hurts? Come on. I got to get this plywood off.
Once you pick Hurts, man, would you give him Hurts?
It
hurts that you got to pick.
Aren't I getting rated after the end of this draft here?
Yep.
Okay, so this is you want me to try and learn, and then I can figure out why I'm an idiot. Okay.
We good.
It's all good, man. Look, you can win some. And okay, Mark, here's another one of those things that you need to never forget about fantasy football. Never. It's one of my 1,700 different rules, but you don't ever forget. It takes luck to win just as much as skill.
All right, and so I'm gonna go back to tight end. Can I go back to tight end?
Tight ends. What do we got?
We've already got Mark Andrews, and you only start 1 tight end a week. You want to address tight end again, or running back?
Okay, well, how many? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so how many wide receivers can you go with?
Start 2 per week with a flex.
So right here, we've got Dak, Zeke, and Kareem as our 2 running backs. And then we've got CD, Justin, and Jerry. Jerry's in our flex. So right now we're building our bench depth. We're looking at what if Zeke gets hurt? Maybe a Tony Pollard. Or in this case, right now, if we wanted to go running back, is there a starter out there, somebody that we could plug in if one of these guys is on a bye week? Wide receiver, me personally, I'd say we're pretty good for right now. It's a deep position. We've already got 3. So if you want to, there's nothing wrong with addressing a backup tight end, but typically what I've found in redraft leagues with the tight end position, not many people carry 2 tight ends. If the guy that you have isn't one of the top guys, you're typically...
Then what are you telling me? Okay, you're telling me that it's a 1-quarterback league, and I've got 2 quarterbacks, so I don't need a quarterback. I've got 2 running backs, so what are you telling me position-wise I want on my bench?
So what you need to... Something else that you just hold on to is the fact that you can add and drop people throughout the year. So when he says you don't carry 2 tight ends most of the time in short leagues like this, it's because if one of your players gets hurt or something, you just drop him, pick up a tight end for that 1 week.
Okay.
It's called streaming. So it's a streamable position. So Mark Andrews is going to carry you guaranteed the first 7 weeks. After that, you could see who's out there and maybe save yourself the wasted draft.
Okay, but now the thing, I don't know what position you're saying I should be going for. You're saying that you only need 1 tight end. It's a 1-quarterback league. We got 2. We got 2 running backs, and we got 3 wide receivers. So where are you saying I need to draft then?
All right, quit jumping around there, Stu. Jump over to all on the rankings.
You want the ranks on all?
Get on all. And here you can see Logan Thomas is up there because of who he is, but since you already have one, he's not as big of a need for you. Same thing with Joe Burrow being up there. So then you're looking at Corey Davis or Kenyon Drake or James Conner So you're kind of getting it now. You're getting into that zone of, I'm not going to feel great about having to use them, but if one of my guys goes down, I can at least use them for a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Right. So don't think of them as, I need this guy to succeed. You just need this guy to show up that week.
So
that kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, but I still don't understand what you're saying.
I would go running back. I would try to, well,
see, now he's asking for advice. So
no, I'm not asking. No, but when I've gone through and I've said, okay, I want to go ahead and get a backup tight end. Yeah, you're good on tight ends, and it's like, oh, you're pretty good on, you got 3 wide receivers. No, you got running backs. No, so what? So it's kind of like, okay, then why am I drafting? Then why do I have these other 5 picks? I mean, I know I need to get a kicker in here at some point.
Scarcity of the position is why running back is valuable to have on the bench, especially guys that either have shared access at this point in the draft, shared access or potential to take over. And we're solid on wide receiver.
Okay, let me clarify what Stu is saying. You're solid with your starters, right? So you're going to have bench, and think of it as a game of keep away, as well as guys that might fill in for you. So that's where, yes, running back and receiver, you're solid, but you want to go ahead, keep adding those, because those positions will run out in most leagues pretty quickly for you.
The tight end position is really, really fickle for everybody outside of the top 5 or so. And that's why it's referred to as a streamable position. I mean,
you're a fantasy football trainer. I like this guy. Who is this?
We could go back up tight end. There's nothing wrong with going back up tight end, but for roster construction and for injuries, different things like that, running back, we've only got 2 right now. You've got bye weeks. What if Kareem gets hurt? What if Zeke gets hurt? And we've only got 2 at the running back position, which is a more important position.
You told me before that I was good on running back.
What's that?
You told me before I was good on running back.
For the starters. But we're building the bench right now.
Okay.
Over here on the roster.
Let me take James Conner.
You want James Conner?
Yeah.
In Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I wasn't trying to confuse you there. I'm just, from experience, and you haven't, when the season gets here.
Click. There we go.
Not having running back depth can hurt. I like Gus Edwards a little bit further
Michael
down.
Gallup went off the board. Okay, go to all. So see what they're recommending. So now we have 3 running backs, 3 receivers, 2 quarterbacks, and 1 tight end.
Now we're going best player available, which really you should go the whole draft anyways. But we don't need a quarterback. We got 2.
Depending on your strategy, I'll give you a quick hint. If I was watching the draft board, because I always watch the room, if somebody was hurting at a position, I might take somebody that I didn't need just to mess them up.
Okay, that you're thinking, 5 steps.
But in this case, what would you like to do? Where do you want to go with
I still think a tight end because I only have that 1.
All right, hey, go to tight end. What do we got? Logan Thomas got Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in. Robert Tonyan.
No, I can't take a Washington.
Tonyan needs Aaron Rodgers. I can tell you that right now. But there's a lot of these guys are good. You want Cole Kmet? He started showing up last year. Blake Jarwin's out there.
I'm going to take Blake.
Now, all right, there you go.
That's an easy one for me. People are sleeping on Blake. He's coming off injury.
And see, I think
healthy, that's 11 yards
if I'm correct here, I think you're going to see the Cowboys come out in 2 tight end sets where people are going to think that it's running. And what they're going to do is they're going to split out. You'll have Zeke going out. Zeke coming out of the backfield and they'll go empty backfield. And you'll see your wide receivers basically clear out. And you'll see crossing patterns with the tight ends. And they will eat them up.
And my apologies on slowing that things down. That's why fantasy is so fun, especially with a real draft, not a mock draft. Everybody has their own strategy and the way that they want to play, their own experience levels. I know I was kind of bucking hard, not for an extra tight end, but we were able to get a backup running back, and now you've solidified a tight end position because there's nothing wrong with carrying a backup. Just because I prefer to strain the position if I don't get a top tight end doesn't mean there's anything wrong with getting two.
So is it too soon to get my kicker? Darwin. Is it too soon for me to get the best kicker?
I mean, what round are we in? 12 out of 15? Nah, no.
Steve Cooper, I got that name. That's fantasy football trainer who's in here. But there's actually a few people having some decent conversations. Who was that? Who said
that wouldn't be
Zeppelin
crazy.
Zeppelin fan is a little lost on the fantasy stuff.
I am too, by the way. I am too.
If you wanted to go early on a kicker, you could go for a guy like Young Ho Koo, he was so good last year. It was like having.
Well, this is just the Village Idiot draft. So let's take Young Ho. Again, this is not you got Greg Zuerlein.
Reach alert.
I thought I said Young Ho.
How the fuck did I get Greg Zuerlein?
Oh well. Okay.
Yeah, I think you
did.
I think you double clicked and the draft moved ahead of you. Is there any way to back that?
No, don't worry about it. Like I said, we're just doing this, and we're getting kind of long winded.
All right, you got two kickers. You good?
Yeah, we got a backup kicker. Be nice, and see what you would do is drop him to the waivers, pick somebody else up after the draft's over.
All right, so now we've got two kickers, we got two tight ends, we got 3 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, and 3 running backs. So now what are we doing?
You need 2 more wide receivers in here because your wide receivers are all going to be off.
Okay.
Well, you need at least one good one.
Okay, let's go to wide receivers then and see what's left.
Is there anything?
You got 2 of them off in week 7.
You're on running backs there. You need to click on wide receivers. There we go. Rhaegar. I don't want Rhaegar. He's ass.
You got my boy at the top. Come on now.
Rhaegar with the Eagles?
I'm telling you, y'all didn't get to see what he is last year.
He's ass. That would put that would put 2 Eagles on my team.
But you have Hurts.
I know, but then I got okay. All right, take Rhaegar.
If you want Hurts to succeed,
I don't. I'm just looking at him running for his life.
You've got CD, Dak, and Zeke, and then you've got Hurts as your backup. If you get Rhaegar, it's known as a stack, the stack of the positions quarterback.
Okay, go ahead.
You can jump all the way down to the rookie Elijah Moore down there.
Go on, take Rhaegar. Let's get this. Let's keep this going.
Come on, get him graded.
We're working on 2 more rounds. Need a defense and another position player.
Defense.
All right, let him take his last pick, and then he can get a defense on the last round.
I'm going to take Crowder.
If it all works out well, maybe the Dallas defense will be there and we wrap up.
Dallas defense? Are you kidding me?
Well, you were chewing through it. No, I wouldn't pick them first, no. But you tell me who.
You want to know the truth? I can't believe I'm going to say.
I'm going to say New England. I'm going to take New England because they're going to come in.
I was just going to say New England.
Where's Dallas?
You know what you're doing, Mark. You know what you're doing.
New England's going to win their division next year because they got the money
hold on
for
a minute.
free agents.
Let's not.
A D-. Damn.
Well, that's partially because I screwed up and we got the double kicker, so that screwed it up too.
Okay, so and watch that would win the league.
And sometimes it's teams like that do.
See you later, Joseph.
You look at them in the beginning, and then at the end of the season, you're like, "Damn, that worked out." And this team has the most important part is you built that core the way you built the core, coming through with Zeke, Justin Jefferson, CD, Dak, Mark Andrews, and Hunt.
Fantasy Football Trainer said more wide receivers.
And in a deeper league, you would line up those wide receivers, but realistically, this is a short bench. It was a small league type of concept, and there will be plenty of wide receivers on the waiver wire for you on a weekly basis.
Fighting me here. I'm trying to get there.
Your draft is complete. Congratulations.
All right.
D- for Dallas. right?
D minus for TK.
I'm tired, boss. I feel drained. I feel drained, man.
After everything we went through to figure out how to get this up and going, and then finally get it up and going. Mark, you know your football, man. That's all fun. Fantasy is a game.
All right.
Fantasy is a game based on the game that we watch and love. So.
Okay.
Hopefully we have some fun with it this season. All right, you'll be playing with Philly 500 and the rest of
any of you all who want to join in the league and know that you've got an easy win because I will be the slump buster because I'm an idiot, then definitely check out our Discord. Stuart's the tagged link up there. Just click on that and go in and say, hey, I want to join in and be part of it and ask questions and things. There's all kinds of information and links and stuff there for pretty much everything that we do and all that. And so, when should people start looking at starting their drafts? When does that start?
Well, we'll have that all dialed in and ready to distribute the information on Saturday when we come back on Saturday. And maybe I might have
within the first 2 weeks of August.
Yes.
Okay.
The first probably. I'm not looking at a calendar. Was it the 7th we were talking about?
I won't be here.
I'm sorry, you'll be Hall of Fame.
I kind of have something that's a little bit bigger than fantasy football.
Yeah, you'll be having a great once in a lifetime event. We'll have the details ready on Saturday when we get
what we might do though is, and I'll see what my capabilities are. There is we might do a Zoom call and see if we can put it out there just to kind of talk about the Hall of Fame and things. If that's all right with you.
Hey, it's your camera and we having fun. So whatever you want to do.
Roger Dodger said, I've done Discord and sent an email. Appreciate that, Roger Dodger. All right. So what else we got to add? We got to hear out the story about the clown.
Yeah. Please explain to
that. One of the leagues I'm in, it's 24 of us, and we had to choose television or movie characters. So everybody's going through and James Bonding it or sports stars or whatever. And then I came out of nowhere with Pennywise.
Oh.
And the next thing you know, mind you, I finished number 1 in the league that year, but they actually shut down our chat and moved it to another chat because they got tired of seeing all my clown gifs.
Okay.
So ever since then, if I see something Pennywise, it's coming with me, and a $5 hat from Five Below. Yep. Oh, there was no way I was passing that up.
Dirty Old Man 65 Gaming. Will the draft be live? Yeah, we could probably do the drafts live. Why not?
They're all going to be fast drafts. Yes.
Okay.
We're not doing any slow draft, 24-hour clock, things like that. Once we start that clock, everybody's going to get about 2 minutes per
Goat
day.
says, how do I join the league? I joined the Discord.
Either tag me.
We'll catch up with the Discord after this too, Stu.
Yeah. Tag me. I'm D2W Stu in there. He's Brother Roz in there. If you're a channel member, let us know. All we need is a little screenshot of your membership, and then we'll add the Jobu crew roll, and that way you can actually come into the private areas and ask fancy questions. But the general chat, it's all football. It's Cowboys based. Mark's videos generate in there. We've got the YouTube section set up.
That jackass? You mean? Oh, jeez.
What's that?
You got that jackass in there all the time?
Yeah, that guy's in there. And there's a section for YouTube where we've got some of my favorite fantasy content creators. Some I know, like Alex Moreno, the fantasy football hustler who's been on the show. We'll get him back on again. My guy, Bogart Scott Free, his content comes up in there. Smitty from the fantasy football show. We don't know each other like I know those guys, but we communicate, and we're just here to have fun. Season's almost here. We're about to get to training camp. All this speculation, everybody trying to be the smartest man in the room, calling people idiots for making that pick when it was actually the right pick. We've all done it. We're all just ready to find out how this shakes out, get to that first game and start winning.
There we go. We got full screen now with you. Hey, Stu.
How we doing?
What's up? Okay. But it's been a great time, and Stu's like, oh, this will be short. Yeah, we'll just do a couple of rounds. We've been on for an hour and a half.
Well, I wasn't planning on doing that whole draft. We should have just done if and when we do it again.
No. Actually, I'm glad you did the whole draft because, okay, yeah, that's great. I got there, but trying to understand, okay, after I got my starters and things like that, where would I try and fill in? What positions do you want to have as backups? Should I have 4 running backs, or should I have 2 kickers or, 3 quarterbacks and so on. So that was actually really good insight.
And that's what you brought us here for. I mean, you literally wanted, when you first asked me if I'd be interested in doing this with you.
Dirty old man, you're gonna tag Stuart in the Discord.
Fantasy Football for Dummies perspective. Not that everybody's a dummy, but we want an environment where if you've been playing for 20 plus years like me and Roz, great. If you just started, fine. That's what we're here to help you learn about the little nuances, give you advice on mistakes that we've made, what we've found that helps us win. I mean, you don't have to dive in 24/7 like we do, but that's what we're here for. If you're in a work league and you don't have time to spend all day looking, come into the Discord chat. If you're a member, you can hit us right there and we'll reply to every question that's in there. It doesn't have to be Jobu leagues. It can be any league, money league, PPR, dynasty, redraft, whatever it is. We're here to help.
Sounds like a winner to me. All right, so I hope everybody had a good time and stuff in here. And in honor of my man Stuart,
for us today, and we will leave you with a. I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I can go right and we'll do it live. Thing sucks. 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow. That is it for us today.